You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's going great today.
Excellent, excellent. Are you all excited for today's episode of Exploring Anime with Friends, Movie Edition?
Oh my goodness, yes, this is a good one.
Yes, it is. 100% agree. Today we will be exploring the world of The Imaginary, a dark fantasy released in December of 2023. The creator of it actually comes from Studio Ghibli. So
Strong Ghibli vibes either way.
Yeah, it was one of those things where as we were watching it early on, it's like, yeah, no, this definitely feels like Studio Ghibli. First, we're going to lay the setting of the world of The Imaginary and see all the ins and outs of how it works and how life is lived on a day-to-day basis on the two planes of existence. After that, we will meet our main characters, or our main character and the girl who imagined him, Roger, and his girl, Amanda. Then we will go into the dark day that Mr. Bunting came into their life and explore one of the most fascinating villains that I've seen in a while.
He's something.
And then we will go into the full-blown conflict of how Roger fights for his survival and to save Amanda's life. And if you like what you're hearing today, remember to check us out on social media, like, subscribe, and follow that button right down there.
Right there.
All right. This world, I'm not going to say it's unique or anything, but it's not simple at the same time, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So we're looking at a world that is a lot like ours, maybe a little less technologically advanced, but it's a world that is a lot like ours. And we're watching everyday life. So it's one of those things where fantasy isn't around. It isn't something that actually is prevalent. A lot of fantasy is urban legend, is myth and whatnot, but there are imaginaries. You know how when you're growing up, you had an imaginary friend, right?
I mean, mine wasn't a friend, but there are a couple stuffed animals that were very near and dear to me that had their own personality and flair and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you gave personalities to them. It's a thing that you did when you were a child.
Yep.
The imaginaries are actually real in this world, and they have their own world too. So when a child comes up with an imaginary, that's the day that the imaginary is born. And it typically comes out of a very symbolic moment for the child, whether something saved them, whether something gave them new purpose, whether it helped them overcome the grief that they were experiencing at that point in time. And our main character, Russ, is an imaginary, and he was born out of a moment of grief that Amanda had because Amanda lost her father. So laying the setting for that, and the father had a bookstore, and he loved books, and he loved reading and everything. And it was his dream, and the bookstore was doing well. And then one day, Amanda and her mom lost him. And that's how Roger was born into this world. There is also an imaginary world. And the imaginary world it's almost like the dimensions lay over each other.
Yeah, it's a bit of an overlap.
The imaginaries are all there in the real world doing things. And they dwell most of the time in libraries, because that's where imagination is at its peak.
Nice shout out.
Yeah, right? Nice shout out for our fellow librarian that's on with us right now. Yes?
Yes, I love it.
And when the library closes down and they go back to their place for the night, it's like a second plane of existence that exists over the current plane. That's a good way to put it?
I think so.
And their reality is there. And these imaginaries can actually change too. When someone stops imagining, the imaginary drifts off to this world, and they have a time where they have to get to a certain portal to go between the two worlds. And if they get to the portal in time, they get to continue to live their life in this fashion and take on quests that imaginaries can go on, because sometimes kids have temporary imaginary friends. They have their main ones, but they have ones that are featured for a special moment because they watched something special or they read something cool and they incorporated those characters in. And honestly, like, it checks in my mind, because this is things.
Yes.
It's kind of like, I remember times where something I watched when I was a young kid
got woven in.
got with my playing and whatnot, and we've even seen it with Autumn a few
easily
times too. And she's even admitted to it.
And
So
even JJ to a point, he's still really young, but he does that too.
yeah, occasionally Spider-Man gets woven in with the imaginary friends. So, and those imaginary friends that no longer have someone who has claimed them, no longer or with their creator, they can go on those temporary quests with other kids. And what's one of the cool things that can happen off of a temporary quest?
So what can happen is that if while they go out while the people are sleeping. So while the children are sleeping, they enter their dreams and they participate in the dreams. And it's told that, hey, if you get hurt in this dream, you get hurt. So they have to be careful. But if a child just, I don't know, really has such a good and amazing time with one of these imaginary friends, they can just latch onto that imaginary friend who no longer has a person, and that's their imaginary friend. And the imaginary friend can go through this change to where it fits this new kid. It's really cool. I kind of like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's the light side of this. It's the
Yeah,
that's
the happy
that's
side.
the happy, the positive side of it. Because obviously losing a child given up on their imaginary is one of the sadder sides of it. But there's also a darker side to this
Oh
too.
yeah.
We called this a dark fantasy for a reason, and it sounds like we're just set in an imaginary world. What is the darker side?
So if a child stops remembering their imaginary friend and the imaginary friend like doesn't know where to go or isn't guided, there's one imaginary that will go down and like try to guide them to the right spot. But if that one doesn't show up, they just disappear and they're just gone. And it starts to happen to like a little robot looking imaginary early on, and it just looks so sad. And it was scared. Like they don't want to disappear, they don't want to cease to exist.
Yeah.
And it's just like watching that little scene there. Wow, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we shouldn't be letting Autumn watch this.
Yeah, right.
There was a couple of times where I was like, oh, I'm not sure how she's going to handle this.
And honestly, it gets even darker than that.
does.
Well, tell us that part.
Heaven forbid something happened to the child themselves, and if they pass, the imaginary's done. Like ceases to exist.
Yeah. And there's even more reasons than that, but this is laying the groundwork of it. So there is this whole fantasy world that exists, despite the fact that it looks like a pretty normal reality, but it is hidden to just like a period of time when the child's imagination is at its peak.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is there's always children whose imaginations are at their peak.
Yes.
And one of them, the one in this one, is Amanda. Talk to us a little bit about Amanda.
Amanda is, I like her, first things first. And usually I'm like, oh, I love this character. She's going through some tough stuff and she needs her imaginary friend. Like you said, her dad's passed. Her mom is struggling to keep this bookstore afloat because it was her husband's. It was the dad's thing, not necessarily her thing. So Amanda's kind of struggling. So she kind of needs Roger because she's still trying to cope with everything. She's a good kid though. Like, even though she's going through all this drama with the bookshop and uncertainty there and her dad passing, she's a good kid. She's just trying to keep the imagination going because that's what's helping her to keep going.
She's also still very upbeat too. Like she hasn't closed herself off from the world. She actually maintains a relationship with her one friend, so she doesn't close herself off completely. But Roger really becomes her world.
Yeah.
He loves her world.
Mm-hmm.
As he says, like when he's explaining the whole thing, it's like she imagines such the greatest thing.
Oh, so beautiful.
It's always it's just so beautiful whenever he is talking about Amanda's imagination. Talk to us a little bit about Roger.
I mean, I wanted to add kind of, as a whole, I feel like that's how the imaginaries perceive their people for the most part. Like this is their world, like you're my world too, kind of thing.
But I always got the impression when Roger was talking to other imaginaries that Amanda's imagination was even greater than any of their children's imaginations.
I mean, Roger probably believes that. Amanda does have a pretty big imagination, and Roger does love going on those journeys. There's one part where there's just like snow and ice everywhere, and they're being pulled on a sled by like a green yak, I think. But it's so great. And Roger he loves Amanda so much.
He does.
In such a beautiful way. And he is just always willing to go on those adventures with her. And he's a little nervous sometimes, but at the same time, he's really not because Amanda's with him. You know, he's with Amanda.
And they have rules. They protect each other. They never cry. And they don't disappear on each other.
Yep.
And those are the rules that they live by. That is their bond that they share together. And one thing you find out when something challenges that bond, Roger defends it
Oh,
fiercely.
yes. He will defend Amanda and he will defend the bond that they have. Absolutely.
It's just wonderful because a part of this journey, we're actually going to see him without Amanda. But we can't really talk about that too much until we introduce you to Mr. Bunting.
Oh, man.
And if you like what you're hearing so far, remember to check us out on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. It is a Netflix original anime movie, but the people who worked on it come from Studio Ghibli. So, man,
Oh, man.
Mr. Bunting.
Mr. Bunting.
He is a top villain of all time for me.
He was a fantastic villain. I hated him so much.
He is creepy. He is disturbing. He comes across as a predator.
He really
But
does.
he's incredibly intelligent. He is so easy to hate, to be afraid of, to despise. He's sleazy and threatening at the same time. And so few villains actually pull it off to the level that the writers pulled off when they created Mr. Bunting.
Can we add manipulative in there too, please?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
the amount
my
of
goodness.
gaslighting that he
But
did
he
throughout the whole
does.
thing.
Man.
Tell us about more about Mr. Bunting.
Jeez. Okay. He's creepy. I completely agree with that. Sleazy, yes. Absolute greaseball, sleazy looking guy. He comes in after the bookshop's closed. He's knocking on the door saying he's an inspector. And he's got some kind of ID that looks official. I mean, I would have scrutinized that a bit more before I opened the door, but the mom opens the door and he comes in and he's not alone.
Oh, yeah. No, tell us about that.
He also, this full grown adult, also has an imaginary that, son of a gun, reminded me of a couple horror movie things.
Like Alma, the Ring.
Yeah.
Like
long black hair. She's wearing like a black
child with the creepy
dress.
eyes, the long black hair.
Yeah.
No, it's
She looks like she's just not having fun at all. Like Wednesday Addams with less fun, if that's even possible, and undo the braids. But like still worse than that. And Roger sees her and Amanda sees her, but of course the mom doesn't see her. And Mr. Bunting's around. I was like, I'm here to inspect your child. And I'm like if I were like, no, you're leaving. Like, I'm gonna call the cops. Dude looks like he should be on a list for sure.
Like just putting it out there.
Just flat out.
And he comes across that way too.
He does.
But he's not preying on the child. He's preying on the imaginary of the child.
So he gets the scent of Roger, because that's really who he's there to see. And the mom kind of like, okay, you need to leave, like, pushes him out kind of thing. But like, oh, this guy's coming back.
Oh yeah.
And you don't know what he's gonna do yet, because at this point we did not quite know his motive, but like he's coming back though.
Yeah, and one of the things to point out again, like talking about Amanda's imagination again, he pointed out very clearly that Roger was like a once in a lifetime.
A fantastic.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, like the epitome of what an imaginary should be, like absolutely perfect.
Yes.
So Roger is going to be his exclusive prey until he has him.
Yep.
And that just adds a level of creepiness to the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
because if he wasn't there, that one thing wouldn't have happened and everything would have been happy.
Yeah. And that one thing is on a day where they're going out and the car has been parked and the mother has to go over and she has to pay the parking meter. And there's a line at the parking meter. Mr. Bunting and his creepy little girl find Amanda and Roger in the parking lot. And he approaches her like the predator that he
like
is.
The
because
absolute terrible man that he is.
And he tries to inhale Roger because you find out Mr. Bunting's effectively immortal as long as he can continue to consume and eat other imaginaries. And his imaginary helps him track them down and eat them, consume them. And
Doesn't that sound great?
When he's consuming one of them, his mouth like opens really wide.
It's like a vortex kind of too.
Yeah, but the vortex with like teeth all in it. It's
like
one of those desert worms. Like
extra gross.
It is a feeling that puts tension in your chest at the point in time when you're watching it, and it stirs emotion.
Yeah, the emotions were stirred in this movie for sure for several different things.
And then it gets worse.
Oh man.
They run from Bunting and his imaginary, and Amanda gets hit by a car.
That almost killed me for this movie. It really did. I was like, full stop. what just happened? My brain froze, and I was like, there's no way in this cutesy movie about imaginary friends that girl got hit by a car. No way. No, she straight up got hit by the car. And I was like,
The worst part about
Ooh.
it, right before it happened, I said, she's going to get hit by a car.
yeah, just kind of like nonchalant.
And then Roger starts to fade.
Yeah,
And I'm kind of like, they just
killed Amanda? I thought this movie was about them.
It's like, this is like, and right now at that point in time, Autumn's watching too. And she's quiet as anything. This movie will make you cry multiple times throughout the course of it. And that's not even one of the scenes that made you cry. It's like,
That's the one that got you like to stop though.
yeah, it was
Oh.
just abrupt and it hit you. And Roger was starting to fade before he was approached by Zinzan. Talk to us about Zinzan.
Thank goodness for Zinzan. Zinzan is imaginary. He no longer has his person. He's been alive for a very long time though. He looks like a big alley cat, but not like, I don't know, he's bigger than an alley cat.
He's got random tufts of hair. He's got
Yeah.
the two-tone eyes.
And Zinzan explains that your person has forgotten about you. I have a place where you can go. And once we make it there, it's all up to you at that point.
I don't think that he says that she's forgotten about him. I'm pretty sure he says
I
that
think
she's
Roger
dead.
comes back with it and says that she might not be alive.
Yeah.
I think originally Zinzan's just assuming though. Either way, same difference with the end result there. So Zinzan goes off and Roger he has to follow. It's either that or he disappears and he doesn't want he is so terrified of disappearing and he's like crying and like, I don't blame him. I'd be crying too. Zinzan leads him down a path and takes him through this kind of magical alley sort of portal and he's suddenly in a library full of people. Roger looks like a normal kid. There's a bajillion different imaginaries. Zinzan being a cat. There's like freaking appliances that you see walking around. What was the one? There was one that we both laughed at.
Oh man, what was the thing that had the legs?
Oh, it was a homophone? No,
a gramophone. A gramophone with legs, but like it's like, like leg lamp type legs.
Oh my gosh. So there's so many different things. So at first Roger's confused because there's also humans in this area and he tries to approach one and they don't answer him. Well, that's because they're just humans in a library doing library things. But there's a ton of imaginaries. And there's another human imaginary who does a wonderful little speech about like, hey guys, it's almost time to work. Are we excited?
Yeah, because they have 5 days off during the week, and then they have like 2 days of work during the weekend. Because
apparently kids only dream during the weekend.
Well, I mean, you have extra time. I guess they don't cover daydreams during class. I guess
I would think that would be the best time to do it, but I guess that's not how it works in this world.
So I guess the regular imaginaries are full time, and the ones that are the lost imaginaries are the part-time employees. I'm not trying to overthink it.
That's fair.
He meets Emily, he meets Snowflake, and he meets
Cruncher of
Bones.
Cruncher of Bones is my favorite. He's this cute little skeleton and just goes crunch, 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 crunch.
Like no, it's absolutely amazing. And we mentioned before that one of the imaginaries can be adopted later on. Cruncher of Bones actually gets adopted, and it goes from being a skeleton to like a really chubby creature.
Panda bear kind of thing. Like, and in a spacesuit.
It's absolutely adorable. That was a moment that made me cry too.
Right?
Because I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the heartstrings are just pulled. In that moment, the montage with the fathers in the past, that like there were so
absolutely
many times.
wrecked me.
Yeah, there were so many times where my heartstrings were just pulled at, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, man, I'm tangenting now at this point in time.
Full disclosure, I cried 3 different times in this movie.
Yeah.
Different reasons.
3 for me too.
But like solid, like I was crying 3 times.
Yep. Just arm wrapped around. All 3 of us cuddled into each other.
I'm gonna cry at all. Like, I don't get it. But...
And one of the times that was, well, tell us a little bit about Emily.
Okay, so Emily's like, she's kind of the leader of what's going on at the library, and she gets them all pumped up and excited. And the cool thing about when they go into these kids' dreams, they're able to bring back like food and share with each other because they still have to eat, even though they're imaginary friends.
Yeah, it's pretty wild the way it works.
Kind of funny. And, they can get imaginary food from the various places. It's kind of like a reward for like helping the kid through their dream. Emily's explaining this to Roger. It's his first time there. Emily's being very awesome and she's explaining everything. This library has like this big corkboard with kind of like, not necessarily wanted ads with things like that on it, and suddenly appear all these pictures of children who just need imaginary friends during their dream. And Roger doesn't really know what to do, so he latches onto one of them, and Emily goes with him, and Cruncher of Bones goes with them. Did the hippo go with them?
Yeah, Snowflake the hippo. The giant pink hippo. Yeah.
So cute.
Absolutely amazing.
They all go together, and they're just having such a good time. This is where you're warned, hey, we die in this dream, we die in real life. Like, we have to be careful. But they're all just still having a pretty good time. And at the end of the dream, they're all kind of in the kid's room, and they're all kind of like, oh, that was kind of cool. And the kid just in his sleep reaches up and grabs Cruncher Bones' hands, calls him Mr. Wobbles.
Yeah.
It was
so adorable.
So cute. And as they're exiting through the window, Cruncher Bones is like crunch, 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 looking around, realizes he's not going anywhere, and slowly becomes Mr. Waddles, the astronaut panda, adorable thing. And the other three are like, whoa. And Emily's like, this is like a very amazing thing we just witnessed. This is not something that happens often. And it's just so cute.
Yeah, so they go back and she explains how awesome it was that they saw that. Emily, Roger, and Snowflake start working along with each other. And Roger's still trying to figure out what's going on with Amanda because he knows this can't be permanent. Roger mentions the whole thing with Mr. Bunting, and Emily's like, Mr. Bunting isn't real.
And this is after all the other Imaginaries were going on about how crazy Mr. Bunting is and the evilness that he has wrought and everything like that. And for a split second, I feel like you see his in the fire for a second. You can see what his imaginary was for a half second, and then it just fades into what it currently is. I'm like, oh man, that imaginary has changed over time. Yeah, go ahead.
And they're back out in the real world at this point in time, Emily, Snowflake, and Roger, and they see Mr. Bunting together. And I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, they're going to kill Snowflake.
Because, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was so sad too. I was like, no.
I'm like, oh no, this is totally going to happen, and I don't want it to happen.
Snowflake is like that sweet, innocent one. That's at all costs.
They're escaping and everything, and she gets separated. Snowflake gets separated, but she's able to make it back in because Bunting follows Emily and Roger. Spoiler. Kills Emily.
In the harshest way possible, potentially. They're going through trying to get back to the library, and Bunting's like, you guys are all still just imaginary. And he holds out his finger gun and just goes, bang.
Yeah, the dude has some wicked imagination control.
Just that part almost killed me too, because I wasn't expecting that one either.
And he doesn't just take her out, he writes her out of existence. Nobody but Roger remembers her at all.
Yeah, when they get back, he's like, man, Emily, she's gone. And even Zinzin, who's been probably teamed up with Emily for a while, is like, who's that? Is that a new imaginary? And Snowflake's like, oh, we're making a new friend? Who's Emily? I want to meet Emily. And I was just like, holy crap.
And that was definitely a scene that I was crying during
right?
too. It was kind of like, wow, this is just when you thought that Bunting being a predator wasn't enough.
Yeah.
To just calmly and collectively write out of existence. It did something. And I was like, man, Bunting is one of the best written villains.
Most despicable, for sure.
And during that point in time is when Roger actually finds out. We're not going to go and spoil the full ending on you, but at this point in time, if you want to just jump out, it's probably a good time. Roger actually finds out that Amanda isn't dead. She's alive and in a coma. And Bunting figures that out too. And what happens is Roger is waiting the next day by the board, and he's looking and he's kind of like, there's got to be someone who knows Amanda, some way I can get to Amanda. And then he sees her friend pop up in need of an imaginary friend, a ballerina for the day, which Roger plays the role.
Yeah.
Roger's able to come through, and there's other things that are going on. We're not going to spoil all of it, but Roger is able to use that encounter to get close to where Amanda is, rush to the hospital, and find her. Shortly around the time that Bunting finds her as well. And from there, it just goes crazy.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh.
Part of me wants to talk a little bit about Fridge.
I say we have to shout out to Fridge. At least a shout out.
Yeah, so we're backtracking a little because during the course of this, we find out that the mom had an imaginary friend.
And that she completely has forgotten, of course. Fridge. Fridge is best boy. So, just a little tidbit on how imaginaries are made, real quick. For Amanda's mom, she was just playing outside, and there was this old fridge that's been who knows how long there, and this snake appears out of nowhere, and the door opens, and it hits the snake, effectively killing it. So now, suddenly, there is an imaginary, giant, fluffy dog that she calls Fridge.
Voiced by LeVar Burton.
First
too.
by LeVar Burton, yes.
Like, honestly, I love the fact that a book about imagination that features a library as a central location
it has LeVar Burton
has LeVar Burton in it. It's like, it's so wonderful.
It's wonderful. Even if it is like not one of the big roles. So big shout out to Fridge.
Fridge is an absolutely amazing character. So really when it comes down to it, at this point in time, Bunting is on the full hunt. Like he has
full
gone
offense for sure.
Full berserk at this point in time. He arrives at Amanda's hospital room around the same time that Roger arrives there, around the same time that the mom leaves there.
Leaves the room to go get something to drink.
And from there, it just gets insane.
Gosh.
That's where we're going to leave you. Mm-hmm. Anything that you want to say in closing on it?
It was so good. Like, I am not someone that cries at movies. I have cried on a movie, including this one, maybe 4 times total. So I'm not a big crier, and I've seen sad movies. Nothing too recent because I don't like being sad, but 3 different times this movie brought me to tears. One of them was happy. The other 2 because I just felt gutted. I'll admit it. Absolutely phenomenal movie. It might rank number 2 for me. I've still got to really iron out the list. I have a number 1. Fantastic movie. Don't sleep on this one, guys. This one's so good.
Yeah, and it's really not talked about at all either.
I don't know how.
This is one of those ones that it took extensive digging to even get there, and it wasn't even one that we found out about online. It was just one that we were scrolling through everything that we could find on Netflix to feature another Netflix-made anime movie. We came across this one. We watched the trailer, and it's like, it seems interesting enough.
I was like, yeah, let's do it.
And then we read a little bit about it, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is not what it was advertised to be.
The trailer wasn't done well.
But it was heartwarming. It was nerve-wracking. It made me cry. And the thing that I take away from it, like the characters are so amazingly written, and Bunting is like a goat.
My goodness, yeah.
He just really is. Everything that you want to hate about a villain, he has. So, and it's pretty high up there for me. It's not dethroning Your Name, but this is definitely in my top 5 anime movies of all time. I need to watch it a second time. But occasionally you watch something that you just want to watch it over and over again. And those are good movies. Those are some of your favorite movies. But your true favorites are the ones that you watch, and then you don't want to see it again too soon because of how lasting it is with you.
Yeah.
I find that my true favorite movies, I don't want to overwatch. And I felt that way immediately after watching this one.
I like that.
Once again, we dove into the world of the imaginary. We laid the setting and explained to you how it worked with the imaginaries and the real world. After that, we met our main character, Roger, and his girl, the one who imagined him into existence, Amanda. Then we met Mr. Bunting, one of the top villains that you'll ever encounter. And finally, we went into some of the conflict, meeting some of the other great characters, including Crusher of Bones, Emily, and Snowflake. We hope you had as much fun exploring the movie The Imaginary as we have, and consider watching this movie. Bye!
Bye!
So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our JMill for Real podcasts, and hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. And today's show was brought to you by Dubby Energy, a modern approach to energy drinks with no sugar, dyes, or fillers added. Dubby Energy. Be better. and use code ExploringAnime524 for 10% off your order. That's ExploringAnime524, one word, all capital letters, for 10% off your latest Dubby Energy order. Link listed in the show notes.